Lush. I'm here in Hub Culture's Pavilion in Davos 2016. Delighted to be joined by Dmitri Alperovitch, co-founder and CTO of Crowdstrike. Now, cybersecurity very much on the agenda here in Davos. Tell me where you see to be the most worrying problems.
Well, there are really two problems that we foresee here. One are the destructive attacks that we're starting to see take place in Ukraine, allegedly perpetrated by Russians or those affiliated with the Russian governments. Very, very worrisome because we have seen for the first time ever the parts of the electric grid in Ukraine being shut down through a cyber attack. Mm-hmm. We've never seen that before. We've seen attempted attacks on the airport, the Kyiv airport in Ukraine. Mm-hmm. So this really shows us what can be done through cyber from a destructive perspective, not just in Ukraine, but everywhere else in the world, because all these systems are interconnected. The other part of the problem that we see is the continuing economic espionage that's taking place, largely done by China, but other countries as well, against Western companies. Their intellectual property, their trade secrets have been stolen by the truckloads through these cyber activities.
Tell me some examples of where we've seen that happen, that second aspect.
Sure. Well, nearly every major company today is facing this onslaught. We have worked with one company in particular, American Superconductor, that has come out publicly on this issue. They've lost $1 billion in stock market value because a competitor in China has taken their intellectual property. They make software that for wind turbines to make them much more efficient. They've taken that software, they've appropriated it, and now they're competing with them in the rest of the world, undercutting them in price. They've had to lay off hundreds of people, lost a tremendous number of contracts, and really the company has taken a huge hit as a result of this activity. But this is happening all over the world. Every major company, every economic sector, whether it's technology, agriculture, energy, you name it, is facing this onslaught.
So is there a role for government to play? Does there need to be more legislation, or is it up to companies like yours to help keep others protected?
Well, the reality of cyberspace today, and many people don't realize this, is that companies are on their own. The government is not coming in to protect you. This is not like you have the government Air Force or military services that are protecting your networks. That's not happening as it is in the physical world. So from a defensive perspective, companies definitely need to do whatever is necessary to defend their networks. At a government level, though, from a policy perspective, we are seeing, certainly in the US, very aggressive action that's now being taken by the Obama administration vis-a-vis the Chinese. The executive order that was issued on April 1st of last year is really unprecedented because the Obama administration for the first time ever said that economic sanctions would be taken in response to these types of cyber attacks. Now, we haven't yet had those sanctions take effect, but certainly the tool is in the toolbox there.
Who are these cyber attackers? If you're looking into Russia, who are they? Where do they sit?
Well, you really have three categories of threat actors are out there. You have nation states, and certainly in the case of Russia, China, the US and other Western countries, you have very aggressive action that's being taken both by the intelligence services as well as military services. And they're certainly the number one player on the cyber field today. You also have criminal groups, a lot of them out of Eastern Europe, a lot of them in Latin America. They're perpetrating economic crimes and financial crimes through cyber attacks. And then you have hacktivist groups and terrorist groups. They're trying to orchestrate these attacks for political purposes or for propaganda purposes. And we have seen some indications that ISIS is developing these capabilities. When you look at the foreign fighters that have flooded into Syria, a number of them are highly educated. The jihadi John famously was a computer science student in the UK. So it is worrisome that you have very educated people with the propensity to do harm that can now orchestrate these attacks in the relative safety of Syria.
Dmitri, thank you so much for stopping by the Hub Culture Pavilion. A little bit of a cautionary tale there. Thank
right.
you very much. I'm Dmitri Lush.
Thank you.